Okay, guys, I have no idea what's happening. I tried to go live so that I could record this, and for some reason it's not working. It was working the other day, and now it just inexplicably decided to stop running and stop letting me upload. It says something about the streaming key is wrong or something. I don't know. So I can still, for some reason, use it to record like this, and then I can upload the video after it's recorded. So this is what I'll have to do then. What I'm talking about today is the strange transgender people who want to associate themselves with feminism. I'm trying to understand how male to female women can get caught up in the feminist bubble, you know, and how they can not see where women will never consider them women and use them to their own means to get what they want, and try to use them to show things like, say a woman's trying to prove the rape culture bias. So they decide the easiest way to do that is to lump in transgender women as well, and say that they're part of the rape culture as well, and that they get raped, and it's all done by men, so all men are bad, you know. So the biases that go on and the complete lack of awareness of what's reality is really blinding to me, but apparently they don't see it, and they don't see how the way I see it is the same way I see religion. Religion has always been to subjugate people, because it allows the powerful and the rich to subjugate the weak, because they get everything they want now, and the people who have nothing think that they may not have anything now, but God will give them something, and if he doesn't, it's because God is waiting for them to die, and when they die, then they'll get something in heaven. So basically you live your whole life not having anything and thinking that when you die you'll get something, but when you die all you get is some dirt thrown on your face and 6 feet in the ground, and they got to steal all your money while you were here, you know. And they you know, I look at it the same way I look at the way blacks still believe in religion. Many blacks are some hardcore religious people, and whites used religion to subjugate those people, and it makes no sense why they would do that. You know, I'll show you this first video.
The only reason that you believe in God and you believe in Jesus is because your ancestors, slave masters, wanted them to believe in Jesus because it made them more controllable. It made them less savage.
That's what religion does, but this is also the same concept that can be used to describe what feminism does. Feminism doesn't care if men are subjugated, if men's rights are being trampled on, if men have no rights, if everything that makes a man is taken away, as long as they get everything that they think men had, which most of the things that women think men have as privilege are things that aren't really privilege at all. You know, the industries have been shown that industries that women aren't really interested in, that they try to act like they are interested in, is used to make men feel like they're trying to subjugate women and have a patriarchy, when really they're just trying to use men. And as I've said before, the misogyny is mainly towards men. It's not, there's not a lot of misogyny that goes on to women. The only thing women think misogyny is just looking at a woman and thinking she's pretty, and thinking she's pretty for a certain reason that's a personal reason for that person. You know, if you like fat women and you look at a fat girl and you go, damn, she's hot, you're a misogynist, because your tendencies for what you are attracted to are wrong. You shouldn't have any attractions to anybody. You should just like women in general, and you shouldn't worry about how heavy they are or how skinny they are or if they have big boobs or if they have a nice butt. You're not allowed to do that under the feminist guise. You should just like women in general, and you shouldn't have a type. You know, you shouldn't like black women, or you shouldn't like Asian women, or you shouldn't like white women. You should like all women equally. You know, and this is their ignorance. You know, this is where they get off. And the thing that I've put up on the screen now is called the sunk cost, and this is a frame of mind that a lot of people get into, where they've put so much money into something, or they've put so much time into something, they can't just let it go. They can't leave it go. There's another YouTuber that I like to watch called Heartburn, and he talks about a lot about a experiment that was done with a monkey, where this monkey had to it liked peanuts, and it stuck its hand through this little hole, and if it balled up its fist, it couldn't get it through the hole. But they put a peanut inside the hole, and the monkey wanted to get the peanut, so it wouldn't let go of the peanut, and it grabbed a hold of it, and it just wouldn't let go, and it kept shaking it, and it kept trying to do all kinds of stuff to get its hand out with that peanut, and it couldn't figure out how to do it, and it would actually hurt itself trying to get that peanut out of the hole, you know. And this is the same mindset we have with feminists. You know, they don't understand about the peanut. You know, they just think that they can't see where they're going wrong, where they've veered off of the path, and they really have it in mind that they're doing good things for women, when in fact most everything they're doing now is turning what used to be a viable possibility for men, where in the 50s you could get married, have a pretty decent life, have some kids, raise them, spend some time with your wife and your kids, send them off to college, and retire and have a good life. And then somewhere in the 60s, when feminism started to rear its ugly head, it turned into a point where that was all of a sudden misogynist, that women should have equal rights, and women should be able to work in industries that women don't want to work in, and that they should be able to study things in college that they're not interested in. And by doing that, they take away the ability of many men to take those classes because of this reversed misogyny, I'll say. They are trying to hire or bring in more women for these courses in colleges, which means men who actually want to do those lose out, and women will actually get funding and get money for student loans to do those courses. And then in the end, a lot of them drop out of the classes because they're just really not interested in STEM fields. So the men who could have got those jobs end up going into other fields because there's not enough teachers to teach them what they need to learn, because all these guys are trying to teach women these classes that women don't want to do. And it's really sad to see. But what I'm going to show you guys is the people, a lot of transgender people talk about equality and diversity, but it only seems to be a thing if you talk about whites, and then they say it's not racist, you know. So I don't understand, like, how you can say, like, being transgender is, you know, being female is better than male because, i.e., pussy, you know, that I'm good at everything, I'm great at everything, I'm awesome at everything, I can do everything, and a man can't subjugate me, i.e., pussy. You know, I don't understand that the how they can't see that the diversity they're talking about doesn't really exist. That it's that, like I've said before, feminism is gender privilege masquerading as equality. They don't want equality. They want men to be crushed under their boot. And they want to subjugate men. They want to take all of your rights. They want to make you have to work to feed, clothe, and keep them, and not have any recourse in your life, in your marriage, in your relationships. And at any time, a woman can cry rape or abuse or whatever and not have that challenged, and can be like able to have you taken away. And that to them is considered equality, when the same thing can't be done to women, you know. In fact, somebody had sent me something the other day that they were talking about completely getting rid of female prisons in Britain because you know, women are too nice to be thrown in jail. That's for men, you know. So, you know, if women, you know, do criminal behaviors, we should only worry about the men doing it, because that's all that really matters. So, yeah, a little bit of what I'm talking about today is the sunk cost fallacy, and like what you're seeing right here if you've been reading it. Like I say, the sunk cost fallacy is where, say you buy a car used, and then you really like the way it looks, but you get it home and you realize it has a lot of rust, and that the suspension is almost falling off of it, and the motor has 300,000 miles on it, so you're going to have to rebuild it. And you already knew that. You were going to pull the engine out, you were going to rebuild it, you were going to fix it. But you get it home and you realize that the engine, once you've pulled the motor, has a cracked block, and the heads are warped, and you have to actually replace the entire motor. And you come across the motor that you really want, but it's very expensive, so you buy that motor, and then it only comes with a certain transmission that you can put on it, so you use that transmission, and now you've already sunk 15 times more than the cost of the car that you originally bought. You still haven't fixed all the rust yet. So you start going into that and messing with the rust, and then you get to a point where you can pull the motor and transmission, take off all the parts you can off that car, and get rid of it, send it off to the junkyard. Or you can continue to sink money into the car, hoping that someday you're going to come up with something that will be viable. But typically what happens when this goes on, and I see it a lot in my job, in my kind of work with working with classic cars, is they will sink 10 times more money into the car than it's worth. So even if they did get it done and it looks really nice when it's done, they will actually lose money selling it. You know, like they might buy a car for, you know, $500. They'll bring it home and they'll sink $20,000 or $30,000 into it, but the actual value of the car, now that it's fixed, isn't $35,000. It's around $7,000. You know, so they might get lucky and have somebody really stupid buy it and give them $10,000, but they've still lost $25,000 off of their original price. And this is the sunk cost fallacy. It would be easier to just bring it home, either try to give it back to that person and say, look, it's too rusty, I can't fix this, the motor's fucked up, everything's fucked up, here, take the thing back and give me my money back. Or to just, like I say, take all the parts that you could off of the vehicle and sell those on Craigslist and eBay, and take the rest of it and put it in a scrapyard and squash it and sell it for the weight, steel weight. Or you can try to fix it and waste money if you want to really do that. In my line of work, what I usually end up doing is I tell the client how much money it's going to cost to fix it. And then I can tell them, look, I can find you another body. And we can easily find just a body with no motor, no doors, no nothing like that. And we can take that body and put all your parts on that body, and you'll have the same car that you wanted, but you'll have a car that you won't have to spend so much money to repair. And a lot of people get this idea in their head. They can't break out of that thought where they have to, they just can't think like, well, I spent my money on that car and I want to fix that car. You know, I recently put up on my videos a guy that I restored a VW bus for him. And everybody that looked at that bus said that it was too far gone. And it was really rusty. I had to replace almost the entire sheet metal on the outside of the van. And I had to repaint it on the inside and out. The motor had to be rebuilt. The transmission had to be rebuilt. It needed almost everything. And it was parked in a field for like 20 years. And the guy that he had the motor fixed and repaired with, even that guy was going to buy it at one time and said it was too far gone then. And that was like 8 years earlier before he got it. You know? So this is a common kind of peanut, you know, thing where transgender people really have this idea that being a feminist makes them more feminine. And instead of just being a woman and living your life as a woman and treating everybody equally and being kind to women and men and living your life like that, they go to this feminist side where they think, well, I'm passable and I really want to be feminine, so maybe I can do this and that'll make me more feminine. And when I listen to them talk, it's like mindless drivel. They just seem like they're puking out nonsensical non-facts that they've heard women say, and they don't see how this is it sounds stupid. It doesn't sound intelligent. Everything they're saying is just verbal diarrhea, basically, and it actually has no basis. I'll show you two videos from the same video today of a girl who I just subscribed to, and she's a transgender and she's having a transgender panel and they're doing a live stream, and all of them are feminists, but two of them have this drivel nonsense that they start talking about. And you can listen to what they're saying and see what I'm talking about. In the way they talk about themselves, they have this strange sense of entitlement that they've received from being a feminist. It really just doesn't make any sense. But I'll play this for you and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I'm Shi-nu. I'm on the advisory board for an organization called Secular Women. It's a It's an organization dedicated to advancing the presence of women in sexual communities. If you're a trans woman who is looking for a feminist organization that actually acknowledges the fact that you exist.
Now, did you hear what she just said? If you're looking for a feminist organization that actually acts like you exist. So what she's saying is she's a feminist, but because she's trans, feminist women don't even acknowledge that she exists. So she still wants to be feminist. She wants to hold on to that peanut. She still wants to be feminist. So she's going to start an organization of feminists for trans. So that trans women who don't get paid attention to by feminists will pay attention to them. Do you understand the stupidity in these statements? How this is just an idiotic way of thinking? Now, in the same vein, here we go with this one. Same type of bullshit. They taught the drivel that they say. It's just nonsensical. They just spew out these things that sound like they're getting it out of feminist literature, and it's just it's nonsensical. It means nothing. It means nothing to them in their life, but they feel that they have to say these things to be considered a woman, and that's what's really bad. Is they're actually going about telling the women, the female women who are feminists, that what's going on, I'm going to help you get your message out. I'm going to help you with everything that you want to do, and I'm going to be a sounding board and a soapbox for you to stand on so that you can use me to lift you up. And they're like prostrating themselves for feminists. And it's really sad to see that they just can't let go of that peanut. They really think that makes me even more feminine. I'm trying to be a feminine. I'm trying to be a woman because I'm transgender. And what'll make me really feminine is if I become a total clueless bitch and believe in feminism, because then I'll have all these women on my side too. And what they end up finding out is that feminist women don't want anything to do with a man trying to be a woman. That's how they look at transgender women, even if they don't say they do. That's how they look at them. But they will use those transgender women to further their cause. If that helps them get laws passed, take more rights away from men, and make it seem like men are really bad people, if they can do that using transgender women, then they will. So here's another one.
It's a good way of putting it. My take on it is, so this whole phrase, trapped in a man's body, kind of speaks to the whole objectification of women. Like, I can't even have my own body, now my body belongs to a man somehow. Like, I've always been a girl as far as I'm concerned, so it's always been my body. It was mine when I was born. It has always been mine. It has never belonged to somebody else, and it has certainly never belonged to a man. So I used to use that language before I did a little self-education, and especially a little bit more feminist education. And
yeah, when you do feminist education, that tells you that you're a victim, and somehow you can become a victim and empowered at the same time, which is an oxymoron of the highest order, I believe. Yeah, so I don't know what to say to these women that are like this. As you guys know, I'm a transgender myself, and I'm also MGTOW because I'm fighting for men's rights, because men are the one that are being subjugated right now, and they have been for many years, especially here in Japan. We are used as an ATM machine, and all of the rights of us having agency in our own lives has been taken away by feminism, And we have no rights anymore in relationships. We have no relationships laws that protect a man once we're divorced. They've made these laws to where after you live with a woman for 3 months, you're now common law. So now you're subjugated to her and can be made to pay. If you're, say, a richer person, or you have money, or you have a good job, and she lives with you for 3 months, she can claim that you were considered her husband and that now you have to pay her alimony, you know? And this is what they consider equality, you know? They consider that to be fair, and they don't see how living like that is stealing and is a way of using people and is in any way bad, because men are just the problem, women are the solution, and we can't forget that. So this is what I figured I'd come on and talk to today. I thought you guys might get a kick out of seeing some of this transgender feminism in action, and see what I have to deal with in the feminist transgender community, because a lot of the people that I am friends with on both of my pages are transgender, and a lot of them, instead of fighting for transgender equality and transgender issues, they get involved in the LGBT community. And like I've said before, you guys know how I feel about that L. And they are indoctrinated into this feminist ideology, which is a dogma. It's like a religion. And they don't see the hypocrisy in the teachings of feminism. And they don't see why it's wrong. So they just decide they're going to help these feminists with their cause. And because of that, like I've said, the feminists are using them as a sounding board. And as a transgender myself, nobody's going to use me for anything. And that's why I'm not feminist. That's why I'm not anything but a MGTOW. And I'll help the downtrodden, and I won't help people who are trying to subjugate and make other people slaves. That's not how humans should be. And I figure that's what I'd come on and talk to today. Thanks guys for watching. I'm gonna try to get this live thing situated. I have no fucking clue why it's doing it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to make it work. If I can't, I can still record it like this, the Hangout, the Google Hangout, and then I can still upload it to YouTube as well. So this is it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Share, like, and subscribe. And thanks for watching this, and have a nice day.